case you're about to see is fictional, but the procedure is legally accurate. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the general public. In today's case, a husband is charged with an assault on his wife. Eileen Garland is charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent. He has pleaded not guilty.
Now, Mrs. Garland, will you tell us in your own words what happened at your house on the night of Monday, August the 14th last year?
Well, I was waiting for our Eileen to get home from work, and I knew she'd be a bit late, you see, because she was going for a wee drink with the girls in the office. You know, it was her birthday. She was 19. Yes, well, anyway, I was laying out the table and putting cards on it and a cake and presents and all that, you know, and then there was a knock at the door.
About what time was that?
Well, that must have been about 7:30, because I wasn't expecting Eileen home until about 8 at the earliest.
And were you expecting anyone else?
No.
What time did your husband usually get home from work?
Oh, that one never got home from work. The time he finished work and the time he got home had nothing to do with each other.
What did he do then?
Well, he finished work at 5:30 and then he went straight to the pub.
Even on his daughter's birthday?
Oh, especially on his daughter's birthday. Because we'd be having a few jars, you know, and singing the old songs, and, well, he couldn't be doing with that.
Why not?
Well, he hates the Irish songs. Well, anyway, until recently, Aiden was living nearby, you see.
Aiden? I'm sorry.
Aiden's my brother. That's my brother, Aiden. He was living nearby, and he'd never failed to turn up on Eileen's birthday, you know, with a wee present. And then the three of us would have a bit of a do.
But you say that you weren't expecting your brother on this particular birthday?
No, I thought he was at home in Northern Ireland. I mean, as far as I knew, he was at home in Derry with mother and father. So when I opened the door that night and I saw him standing there, I got a terrible shock.
Did you say anything?
Well, not at first, no, because I was struck dumb.
Did he say anything?
No, he just stood there with this parcel in his hand, you know. And then he burst out laughing and he said, "Did you think I'd forget our Eileen's birthday?" And then he came in.
Did you invite him in?
Don't think so, no.
Well, did you say anything to him before he came in?
I don't think I did, no. I was too startled.
So you didn't invite him in?
Well, no, I mean, I didn't shut the door in his face and I didn't actually invite him in. I mean, he just came in.
Were you glad to see him?
I'm always glad to see anyone from the family, you know. Well, under the circumstances, I was a wee bit worried because my husband had banned Aiden from the house and the rest of the family.
Are you saying that your husband prohibited any member of your family from visiting your house?
Oh, aye, and not just the family, anyone Irish. He told me an Englishman's home is his castle and no Irish bastard is welcome here.
Why does he take that attitude?
Because he's a bigot and he hates the Irish.
Including you?
Oh, aye. He hates me.
To return to the night in question, now you said you were worried. Why?
Because I knew exactly what would happen. I also knew it'd be a miracle, though, if he got home before the pubs were shut.
Yes, but what was it that worried you?
Well, I knew he'd find out that Aiden had been.
How could you be sure?
Because he has a spy in the street. The woman next door tells him everything that's going on. She's always watching the house. Tells him everything when I go out, when I come in, if I have a visitor or anything like that. Sometimes she even listens through the wall, you know, to what Eileen and I are saying to each other.
What happened after your brother came in?
Well, I told him he shouldn't have come, really, because, well, if Alec found out, Eileen and me would suffer for it.
And what did Aiden say to that?
Oh, he said that was the last thing in the world he wanted to do. And that he only came over because he wanted to give Eileen a present himself. And then he opened the parcel and showed me the present. That's it there. So it's funny, he didn't even want to put that through the post for fear that it might get broken.
May I have Exhibit 1, please? Ladies and gentlemen, you'll note that the statuette is in fact broken and that there are blood stains here. Thank you very much. Mrs. Garland, will you tell us how the statuette came to be broken?
Well, I had it stood on the table and I was saying to Aiden how much Eileen would like it, you know, because she's a very devout girl, our Eileen.
Your daughter is Roman Catholic, I take it,
She is
Mrs.
that,
Garland.
yes.
And the father, your husband?
He's English.
And what religion does he practice?
Oh, well, if you mean practice, then he's an atheist, because he practices nothing.
By your criterion, the majority of English people would be atheists.
No. Look, I mean, if England was officially Jewish, he'd be a Jew, and if it was officially Muslim, he'd be a Muslim. But as it happens to be Protestant, he's a Protestant. But his true religion is England.
He's a Protestant. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Lowry.
Garland, you were telling your brother how Eileen would be pleased with her present.
Aye, and how she'd kick herself for not coming home early.
Why?
Well, she'd miss Aiden.
You mean he wasn't going to wait for her?
Ah, well, he didn't want to cause any trouble, you know, between her father and herself. And then, just as he was going to the door, himself walked in.
Mr. Garland.
I opened the door with his key and came staggering in. And I said, "It's all right, Aiden's on his way." And he said, "He's on his way, all right." And then he picked the statuette up, knocked it over.
How did he knock it over?
Well, I had it on the table, like I said before, on the corner of the table, right? And Alex sort of swayed forward heavily, you know, with both of his hands on the table. And the table tilted a bit and the statuette fell on the floor and smashed.
I see. You're talking of him staggering and swaying.
Aye, because he was drunk.
And do you think he knocked the statuette over deliberately?
Oh, aye, I'd swear to that.
That's what you're doing.
You know, what I mean is that he's going to say that he wasn't drunk and that he didn't do it deliberately and it was all an accident. Well, I mean, sure, it looks like an accident, but I can swear to you here that he was drunk and clever enough at the same time to use that and make it look like an accident. Crafty sod, that one. He's always acting. He can act drunk when he's sober and drunk when he's drunk. He's always acting. And you lot remember that when he comes to plead the injured innocent.
The jury will disregard that last remark. Mrs. Garland, you will kindly confine your remarks to answering questions put by Mr. Lowry.
Your Honour, what happened after the statuette was broken?
What happened after that? Aiden bent down to pick it up and Alec kicked him.
Kicked him? Where?
In the arse.
Was it a strong kick?
Oh, God, a big boot. That one. Poor Aiden went flying across the room and fell onto the floor. And he jumped on top of him and started hammering him and hitting him and screaming about the Irish. I was screaming at him to stop, but he gone berserk. And then somehow my brother managed to, I don't know how he did it, but he managed to break free and push Alec away, and that's when he picked the statuette up.
And what did you do?
Well, I jumped in front of Alec to try and stop any more violence, but we got past me, and then they were at it again, and he was trying to hit Aiden with the statuette, and Aiden was holding his hand back, you know, trying to stop.
And throughout this entire struggle, your brother was acting only in self-defence?
What else could he have done?
Oh, quite.
No, I mean, I could see that if he hit Aiden with that statuette, he could have done serious damage. I mean, he could have killed him. So I didn't think. I just stepped in and grabbed hold of Alec's arm.
Which was holding the statuette?
That's right, yeah, and he nearly swung me around with it too. He was that crazed. Had the strength of 10 men, that one. So I just shouted to Aiden to run, and he ran.
And you were left struggling with your husband?
Well, I wasn't really struggling. I just clung on to him, you know, to keep him away from me.
You say you were clinging on to him. You weren't attacking him in any way. You weren't scratching him, for example?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
In self-defence?
Well, I didn't enjoy wrestling with him. I didn't want to fight. All I wanted was for him to sit down and stop screaming. But if I did scratch him, then it was only to stop him going after my brother. He was far too strong for me. Grabbed hold of my neck with his free hand and gave me a shove. I went up against the door. And that's when he picked up the statuette and hit me across the face with it here.
Are you saying that he hit you with the statuette deliberately?
Why? Because he knew how to fight on otherwise. He knew I was not going to move from that door.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jagged edge of the plaster makes the statuette an extremely dangerous weapon. Did the wound in your cheek require 11 stitches, Mrs. Garland?
Aye.
Do you think your husband intended to scar your face?
Oh, Your Honour, really, it's a most improper form of questioning.
Mrs. Garland, you will ignore the last of those two questions, but tell me, did the wound require 11 stitches?
I did.
And had you suffered any injuries to your face when you were involved in the struggle between your brother and your husband? Or subsequently, when you were struggling just with your husband? In other words, before you found yourself standing at the door confronted by your husband?
Well, if I did, they didn't need 11 stitches, did they?
Mrs. Garland, I understand that you grew up in Londonderry in Northern Ireland as one of a large family of Roman Catholics.
Aye.
And you came to England at the age of 17.
Aye.
How did that come about?
I was pregnant.
By whom?
By Alec.
By Alexander Garland. How did you meet him?
At a dance.
What was he doing in Londonderry?
He was a soldier.
A professional soldier.
Is there any other
No,
kind?
I mean, he wasn't just doing national service as a conscript. He was a professional soldier serving with the British Army in Northern Ireland.
Aye.
So you met him at a dance and, what?
We started courting.
How long were you courting?
About 6 months.
And what did your family think of you courting a British soldier?
Didn't ask them.
You mean you didn't tell them?
No.
Why not?
Because they'd have killed me.
Killed you?
Well, I mean, they'd have stopped me seeing Alec.
Why?
Because they're all fierce Republicans.
Yes, but you had to tell them once you discovered you were pregnant.
Oh, I didn't want to. Alec did, and I warned him what had happened.
What did happen?
Well, my brothers thumped him, and I got locked up in the house for a month.
After that, you came to England.
That's right, yeah. Stayed with Alec's parents and waited till he got posted back.
Did you want to come to England?
Well, there's not much fun in Derry for a young girl.
Did you deliberately get pregnant?
Your Honour, I object.
Your Honour, I'm seeking to establish that from the beginning of her relationship with Alexander Garland, this witness has exploited his affection
We
for
were
her.
in love and we got careless, that's all.
The witness has answered the question.
Were you subsequently reconciled with your family?
I was, when they saw the baby. And when I told them that it was going to be brought up in the Catholic faith.
Oh, you visited the family in Derry with the baby.
I did,
How long did you stay there?
It was about a month.
And from then on, did you keep in touch with your family, making regular visits each
I
year?
did, yes.
Well, how often did you visit Derry each year?
Well, we'd go at Christmas and Eileen's birthday.
Did your husband accompany you on these visits?
Oh, no.
Mrs. Garland, you say that you and your daughter visited your family in Northern Ireland on her birthday. But didn't you tell Mr. Lowry that you always celebrated her birthday here at home in Fulchester, together with your brother?
Aye, so we did, but I mean, obviously we couldn't do that until Aiden came to live in Fulchester, could we?
And when did your brother come to live here?
That was 1974.
Thank you. Mr. Hurst?
Exactly when in 1974 did your brother come over here?
Oh, it was just before Christmas.
It was very bold of him, wasn't it?
Bold, why?
In November of that year, 20 people lost their lives in the Birmingham pub bombings, which led directly to the Prevention of Terrorism Act and to the proscription of the IRA, an organisation of which your brother was a member.
Your Honour, this is an attempt by my learned friend to arouse anti-Irish feelings in the jury. As he is very well aware, Mrs. Garland's brother was not a member of the IRA when he came to this country.
The jury will not allow itself to be influenced in any way by considerations of nationality. We must bear in mind, too, that although the Prevention of Terrorism Act of 1974 made it an offence to belong to the IRA, it was not retrospective. In other words, it was not an offence to have been a member of that organisation prior to its being proscribed. Yes, Mr. Hurst.
Deeply obliged, Your Honour. Why did your brother leave Ireland?
To get a job. There was no work for him in Derry, despite all his qualifications.
And did he find work here?
Oh, aye, he had a job fixed up about a week after he got here as an electrician. He's a highly qualified man, you know, he works hard.
Oh, he did well for himself.
Well, he did well for more than himself. Helped me to manage, and the family. Branched out on his own, he had a grand wee business going.
So why did he go back to Northern Ireland?
Because he'd no choice, you lot banned him.
Yes, is it not the case that in January of last year your brother was arrested, served with an order excluding him from Northern Ireland under the Prevention of Terrorism Act?
Aye, and for no reason.
Well, the police applied for the order and the Home Secretary granted it. Now, are you aware that failure to comply with that order can carry very severe penalties? He could go to prison for 5 years.
Yeah, well, Aiden didn't commit any offence.
Oh, but he did, he most certainly
Well,
did.
what offence
He
did he
came
commit then?
back. Under the Act, he was specifically prohibited from coming back, returning to, staying in this country.
I'm talking about before he was banned.
Yes, well, regardless of that, do you agree that he committed an offence by coming back here after he was banned?
Well, if you say so.
Mrs. Garland, your brother was prohibited by law from returning to this country, but he did so, did he not?
Aye.
Then he committed an offence against the Act.
He came to see our Eileen. Is that a crime?
It is if you're excluded.
Well, it's a terrible thing if a man's going to be banned from visiting his own flesh and blood.
Mrs. Garland, not only was your brother committing an offence himself, he was risking his own family by implicating his own flesh and blood. Under the Act, it is also an offence to harbour an excluded person.
Harbour, the man was in and out in 10
Well,
minutes.
yes, because your husband was forcing him out.
He was going anyway.
You see, the point I'm trying to make clear is this. The presence of your brother in that house rendered you liable to an offence under the Act for harbouring an excluded person. It also rendered your husband liable. Now, is it surprising that Mr. Garland reacted so angrily when he saw your brother there, a man banned?
And look, after Aiden was banned, every Irish man and woman was banned from the house, right? We couldn't have a friend in for a cup of tea, neither Eileen nor me. Do you know, I went to the pictures once with an old friend of mine, an old Irish woman, and I got a hammering for that. That man is a bigot, and when he has a few down, he's a violent bigot.
Yes, nevertheless, on that occasion, your husband had every right to be provoked.
Oh, no, he was just looking for a row. He's always in a paddy on Eileen's birthday, because he knows he's not welcome to the do.
Why not?
What? With us singing the old songs and having a few jars, and him sitting there with a gob on him?
Yeah. All right. So your husband was excluded from the family's birthday celebrations. But on the birthday in question, your husband walked in, he came home early, and he saw your brother there. Now, Mr. Garland will say that his first words were, when he saw your brother, "I'm going for the police." Do you recall him saying that?
No, I don't.
Well, it was, in fact, his duty as a citizen to report your brother's presence to the police, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that it was. Your brother had no right to be in this country. Now, you told my learned friend earlier that you wanted to stop your husband going after your brother. In other words, you wanted your brother to escape.
I wanted my brother to get away without getting a hammering.
Yes, well, while one can understand your loyalty to your brother, don't you think you should have thought about your loyalty to this country?
This is not my country. I'm a citizen of Ireland. My family moved to Northern Ireland when I was only a child.
So you and your brother are Southern Irish, are you?
We're Irish.
Irish. Thank you.
Mrs. Garland, have you ever been a member of the IRA?
Never, no.
Have you ever belonged to any political organisation dedicated to the reunification of Ireland?
No, never.
Have you ever involved yourself in any political activities, whatever kind?
Never.
Mrs. Garland, do you have strong feelings about the troubles in Northern Ireland?
Well, I do. I mean, I hate that violence. Pray for the violence to stop.
You pray for the violence to stop. Thank you very much, Mrs. Garland. Go on. I call Eileen Garland. Now, Miss Garland, when you arrived home, you found your next-door neighbour, Mrs. Sullivan, standing in the street outside your house?
Yes.
What exactly did she say to you?
She says there's been a murder in your house. I've sent for the police.
Did you make any reply?
I said I wish you'd mind your own bloody business.
Why did you say that?
I didn't want her sticking her nose into our affairs. I was angry. I just thought there'd been another row and she was exaggerating. She's a woman who likes a bit of a drama.
Were there often rows between your parents?
Constantly.
About what?
Mainly about religion and Ireland. My dad would go out of his way to provoke a row, cracking jokes about the paddies or the Pope.
Were these rows verbal or did they ever become physical?
The rows got worse after Uncle Aiden was excluded to Northern Ireland. Aiden's only crime was that he was Irish, but the way me dad went on, you'd think he'd been using our house as an IRA cell. Anyway, he banned all Irish visitors, including my friends. The atmosphere in the house was terrible. I think it was that as much as anything that led me to falling ill and missing my A-levels.
Oh, yes, you got a job, I understand.
Just for a few months.
Now,
Last September I started at Central College of Education and I'm studying for A-levels there now.
Yes. Can I bring you back to this question of the rows? Now, can you remember any occasions when these rows between your parents became physical?
I can think of half a dozen occasions, ranging from him giving her a backhander to a pitched battle.
Ah, thank you. Now, did your mother report any of these assaults to the police or any other body? Or did she?
Fat lot of good that would have done.
I see. Were you ever involved?
I argued with him sometimes, but he never touched me, just me mum.
How did you feel towards your father?
I despised him and still do, for his drinking and his ignorance and his bigotry and his violence. The only reason I stayed at home was because of me mum.
Why?
Because I was afraid of what he might do to her one day. What he did.
You were afraid of something like this very assault taking place?
Yes.
I see. Now, when you went into the house, what did you see there?
My mum was lying on the floor with a really bad cut on her face and it was bleeding heavily. My dad was standing over her, holding a statue. I said, the police are coming. And he said, look after your mum, and then he ran out.
With the statuette?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I bathed my mum's wound. She was unconscious. A few minutes later, the police arrived. I told them they'd probably find him in the pub.
Did you really expect your father to go to the pub after what had happened?
I knew he'd find his way there eventually. And I didn't know anything about Uncle Aiden at the time they asked. I didn't know anything about that until I heard Mrs. Sullivan giving a statement to the police.
And you wanted them to find your father?
Yeah, I wanted him put away. I was frightened.
Thank you, Miss Garland.
Now, Miss Garland, you say you had to leave school through illness without taking your A-levels. What subjects were you studying?
English, Latin and history.
Were you hopeful of passing in these subjects?
I stood a good chance.
And yet I understand that you're not taking these subjects at the Central College. Why is that?
Fancied a change.
To what?
Politics and economics.
Oh, you're interested in politics?
As an academic subject.
Are you interested in the politics of Northern Ireland?
It's the duty of any British subject to be interested in Northern Ireland, since we're responsible for what's happening there.
Ah. Miss Garland, have you ever indulged in any political activities related to Northern Ireland?
What do you mean by political activities?
Your Honour, I really must object. My learned friend will persist in dragging political issues into what is a domestic conflict.
Your Honour, I submit that political issues are at the very root of this domestic conflict.
If political issues must be raised, you must be careful to establish their direct relevance to the situation.
Your Honour, did you join an organisation dedicated to improving Anglo-Irish relations and to promoting the cause of Irish unity?
Is that an offence?
No, it's not an offence, and the organisation is quite legal. Did you?
Yes.
How did your father react?
He disapproved. He was annoyed.
I put it to you, he was more than annoyed. He was deeply upset. He felt betrayed. And this, moreover, was the major cause of these domestic disputes.
I wasn't betraying him.
Do you make any special friend at these meetings?
You mean my boyfriend?
Oh, is he Irish?
Yes, why?
You ever take him home?
My dad wouldn't let me. He said if I brought him home, he'd give him a good hiding. He told me to stop seeing him.
And have you stopped seeing him?
No.
Oh, were you with him on the night of the birthday, the night in question?
Yes.
Your mother said you were having a drink with the girls from work.
That's what I told her.
Did she disapprove of your boyfriend?
No, but she was frightened in case my dad saw us together. I thought it best to tell her a white lie to save her from worrying.
A white lie.
He just met me from work and we went for a drink together.
Yes, you'd have preferred, wouldn't you, to take him home to your birthday party?
Yeah, of course.
Now, your father will say that he came home early that evening because he thought you'd done exactly that, and he found Aiden there. Now, did you expect your uncle to be there?
No.
What time did you get back?
About 8 o'clock.
Yes, now, it was just after your uncle had run out of the house. Now, your mother said that he arrived at 7:30. Yes, he was there about half an hour. A little more than 10 minutes, isn't it?
Part of that time he was being detained against his will by me dad.
Miss Garland, the jury will disregard that remark. It is here.
Your father was only doing his duty.
Really,
His
Mr.
duty.
Hurst?
My father's
Miss
as
Garland?
bigoted as the English authorities. Aiden's being punished for no other crime than being Irish.
Aye, like hundreds of other Irishmen.
Silence in court.
Do you have any more questions, Mr. Hurst?
No, Your Honour, and I apologise.
Mr. Lowry, do you wish to re-examine?
No, Your Honour. I call Aiden Riley.
He's not so thick as to turn up here. If he turned up here today, you'd have arrested for turning up the last time.
Silence in
Oh,
court.
God help him if the special branch gets their hands on him again. I knew they'd be here today. God, you can smell them a mile off.
I'm not going to allow you to disturb the proceedings of this court.
And what are you going to do? Send me back to Ireland?
You're going to be removed from the court now.
Aye, British justice again. Hundreds of Irishmen are being arrested without charge. Are being transported without trial. And you call it a free country. It's only a bloody dictatorship.
In view of the absence of the prosecution witness, Mr. Riley, and the lateness of the hour, the court will adjourn.
Join us again tomorrow when the case of the Queen against Alexander Garland will be resumed in the Crown Court. This is Aiden Riley, brother of Mrs. Maureen Garland. He is a witness in the case against Mrs. Garland's husband, who's accused of causing grievous bodily harm with intent. Mr. Garland has pleaded not guilty.
You're Mr. Aiden Riley of 47 Longbridge Road, Derry, Northern Ireland.
Aye. I live there courtesy of the Home Secretary, who cut short a happy and industrious life in Fulchester and sent me, an innocent man, back to Northern Ireland for life among the gunmen and the dole queues.
Mr. Riley, please try to answer yes or no where possible. Counsel is only asking your name and address.
Yes, but you'll understand why I'm a wee bit nervous. I mean, this being an English court and me being an Irishman. Now, that's why I didn't turn up for the original hearing. And I want to explain about that. You see, after the Home Secretary served that exclusion order on me, for God knows what mysterious reason, now I knew that I was out of order coming back here. But like the clown that I am, I couldn't resist visiting our Eileen on her birthday and giving her a present. Now, there's no harm in that.
By admitting it, ladies and gentlemen, by doing so, he is laying himself open to further charges, in that technically he's broken the exclusion order.
I think we can all understand the difficulties. Mr. Riley, Mr. Lowry wants to ask you some questions about that last visit. And I must advise you that you need not answer any questions you fear may incriminate Shaun.
The only regret I have about that visit is running away and leaving our Maureen in the hands of our drunken swine of a husband. If I'd known he was going to have a go at her, I'd never have left in the first place. So I'll take whatever's coming to me, as long as justice is done to him.
We're here to see that justice is done, Mr. Riley.
Your Honour. Now, Mr. Riley, I believe that you and your sister Maureen grew up as part of a large Roman Catholic family in Southern
Aye, 4 brothers, 2 sisters.
Yes, thank you. A large Roman Catholic family in Southern Ireland, and that you moved to Derry in the north when you were both quite young.
Aye.
Now, would you say that you had a strict upbringing?
Oh, I was dead strict. First religious house, remember? I mean, up at 6 and off to Mass. The old man, well, he was a bit of a tyrant. He was fair, but, geez, you don't cross him or he'd take his belt off you.
Would you say that you were frightened of your father?
Frightened? Geez, he put the fear of God in all of us.
What, in his daughters as well?
Ah, well, he wasn't so hard on them. Mind you, they had to be back in the house by 9 o'clock and answer for where they'd been. But they were all right. There was no real trouble from them.
Until your sister became pregnant?
Aye.
Had she had any boyfriends before that?
None as far as I knew.
Now, what was your father's reaction to your sister's pregnancy?
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, here's this English soldier. He walks in and tells him that his daughter, who's all of 16, has been carrying on for months, and then now she's pregnant. Then he's going to take her back to England with him and marry her. And then he announces that he's a Protestant.
And was he beaten up in your house?
Ah, well, it's, like I said, the old man. Only he's first religious. And the news that an English soldier had taken his daughter's virginity, well, that was more than flesh and blood could tolerate. I mean, he let fly. There was a bit of barn, you know. My brothers joined in.
Did you join in?
Me? No, I was only a lad. I was about 10.
Ah, yes, of course. So the family took its revenge on Mr. Garland.
Well, I suppose so, in a manner of speaking. But my God, I mean, imagine marching in like that and announcing his plans for Maureen. Well, I think he was asking for it.
Yes. Do you think that don't you think that he's held a grudge against the family for this attack on him?
Well, he didn't like the Irish anyway, but I think that experience helped to focus his hatred.
He never visited the family again?
Never visited, never exchanged a word.
But, of course, you met him again when you went to Fulchester in 1974?
I saw him when I went to call on our Maureen.
Now, what sort of relationship did you develop with him?
I didn't develop any relationship with him at all. Sure, we were like passing strangers. Sure, the man's a fanatic, and I've no time for fanatics. Now, I tried to avoid him by calling on the house when he was out. That wasn't too difficult, because he was out every night, in the pub.
But you kept up a close relationship with your sister Maureen and her daughter?
Aye, Eileen. Now, she's a fine girl. I grew very fond of her. She's a credit to her mother. If all the English were like her, there'd be no Irish problem.
Would you like to explain that last remark?
Well, all I meant, Your Honour, was the girl is utterly without prejudice.
And you think that English prejudice is the cause of the Irish problem?
No, that's not what I was saying.
I thought your remark implied it.
No, that's it. You see, that's like the majority of Englishmen. They can't understand the Irishman's pride in his country and his bitterness at its division. Forget the wounds of the past, says the Englishman. But how can you forget a wound that's fresh and bleeding, says I? Let's heal the wounds of the past. Let's talk to each other like men. Now, Eileen understands that. She feels as I do. That's why she was ever down the club organising the legs of everyone.
Organising what?
Dances, darts matches, social evenings, Cayleys. She liked the old-fashioned jig.
And English people were welcome at these evenings?
Very welcome, that was the whole idea.
I see.
Your Honour, it sounds then as though you made a number of English friends.
Oh, I had dozens of English friends. I mean, I had a lot of contact. I was the local organiser for Clan na Heron.
Clan na what?
Clan na Heron, the Republican movement of Britain. It's a peaceful organisation concerned with helping the Irishmen over here. It's a sort of social welfare agency.
I see.
What was the attitude of Clan Nahir?
Clan Nahir.
Thank you. What was their attitude to the bombings?
We repeatedly and publicly condemned the bombings as outrageous. Jesus, we were trying to help the position of the Irishmen in Britain. In our eyes, the bombers were a bloody menace.
Now, before you came to England, were you a member of any political organisation?
I was a member of the IRA, the official IRA.
And what was the official IRA's attitude to the terrorist campaign?
The official IRA publicly condemned the bombings carried out by the provisionals. The official IRA was against terrorism.
Nevertheless, it's true to say, isn't it, that both organisations, both the official IRA and the provisional IRA, were prescribed under the Prevention of Terrorists Act.
Aye. After the Birmingham bombings, despite the fact that the official IRA had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with them and nobody ever suggested that they did.
And what was the official IRA's attitude to the Birmingham bombings?
They condemned them. But despite that, as you said, the organisation was proscribed along with the provost.
After which you ceased to be a member.
Aye, of course.
Now, Mr. Riley, I'd like you to take great care with your answer to my next question. Have you ever been involved, either directly or indirectly, with committing or encouraging any act of terrorism?
Never.
And have you ever been charged with any offence, either here or in Northern Ireland?
Never.
Were you surprised when you were arrested over here?
No. I mean, I wasn't the first organiser of Clan Nahir to be arrested, and I wasn't the first to be excluded either.
On what grounds were you excluded?
None given. All the exclusion order tells you is to get out and stay out.
You could have appealed against that exclusion order, couldn't you?
Well, it's difficult to appeal when you don't know what the evidence is against you. Besides, it's not a proper appeal in a public court. It's just an interview with some fellow from the Home Office.
Your Honour, Riley's political experience is no doubt enlightening. It seems to me utterly irrelevant to the case in hand.
We do seem to have left the immediate issue far behind, Mr. Lowry. Please do get on.
Your Honour, if we can all agree to concentrate on the domestic conflict and leave the political dimension out of it, I shall be delighted, but I'm not sure that my learned friend will agree to that, however.
I would just add that it is not within the province of this court to review the operation of the Prevention of Terrorism Act. It's an extreme measure necessitated by an extreme situation. Nor can we concern ourselves with the justice or otherwise of the Home Secretary's decision to exclude Mr. Riley. What we are concerned with are the events of August the 14th last year.
Your Honour. Now, Mr. Riley, in view of the exclusion order against you and the risk of fines and or imprisonment, what made you come back to this country?
I wanted to give our Eileen a present.
Was that the only reason?
That was the only reason.
Where did you spend the night?
You mean after I left our moorings? Where did I stay?
Yes, where did you spend the night?
At a friend's house.
Which friend?
Now, you're not asking me to name her?
No, Mr. Riley, it's not necessary for the lady's name to be mentioned. Very well, then you spent the night at the house of a friend who is a married woman.
Aye.
Where was her husband?
He was away.
And was this the first time that you'd spent the night there?
No.
How many times do you think you'd spent the night there?
Well, say a couple of times a month over a period of a couple of years. Now, I hadn't seen her since January when I was sent home. That's another reason why I hated that exclusion order.
Where did you meet this woman?
At the club. The Irish club.
Did her husband know about the affair?
Well, I thought he had a suspicion about it. In fact, at first I thought he was the one who told the police. You know, phoned the coppers anonymously and giving them a yarn about me and the IRA.
Why should you suspect that?
Well, the police always act on information. I mean, it can be anybody. It could be another Irishman who doesn't like your face, holds a grudge against you, doesn't like your politics or your religion. And all he has to do is telephone the coppers, give your name and address, mention the word bombs, they'll come rushing round in the van.
Now, you say that you thought it was the husband who reported you at first. You changed your mind?
Well, I'm not even sure he was onto us. No, I don't think it was him.
Somebody else?
I think it was Eileen Garland.
You think?
Well, I can't be certain, can I? I mean, he's not going to let on to me about it, is he?
If there was anybody who phoned the police, this is pure speculation.
Ah, no, one of the coppers told me that somebody had telephoned them anonymously and exposed me as a Republican terrorist. A bomber and all. Well, Jesus, I knew only a real bigot could come out with rubbish like that. Somebody who really wanted to see the back of me.
You still have no evidence for suspecting Mr. Garland.
Ah, no, I think he mentioned something about it during the fight.
Your Honour, Yes, will you tell us about that? Now, we've heard from your sister, Mrs. Garland, how you arrived home unexpectedly with the statuette and you put it on the table, and then Mr. Garland arrived home early from work.
Aye. Well, I was having a gas without Maureen, and seeing Eileen wasn't there, I was just going to leave the statuette and be on my way. When himself comes marching in. Well, our Maureen said to him, Aiden is just going. But he obviously had a skinful. I mean, he was staggering around all over the place. And he knocks the statuette onto the floor and he breaks it. So I bends down to pick it up and he kicks me. Next thing he's on top of me and he's screaming, I thought I got rid of you for good. Now that's what made me realise he must have been the informer. Anyway, somehow I managed to break free. And he comes swinging at me with a statuette. Now it all happened very fast. But I remember our Maureen, God bless her. She grabbed his arm. Otherwise he would have killed me. And I rush out. But you see, that was it. That's what made me realise he must have been the one who telephoned the police. And when he saw me there, he thought this was the chance to finish me off. With the excuse of tackling a terrorist.
Did you make any attempt to reason with him?
Well, I was shouting at him all the time. But I was saying, behave yourself. But he was as drunk as a lord.
Did you threaten him?
I only threatened him with my departure. That's all. But he wouldn't let me go. He was after blood. And blood he got too, that's the pity of it. That it wasn't my blood, but our Maureen's.
Now, Mr. Riley, you've mentioned several Irish political organisations, and I'd like, very briefly, to go over those organisations again.
I must admit that, like most British people, I find it difficult to keep up with the variety and indeed the mutations of these various Irish organisations. But, Mr. Hurst, is it all strictly relevant?
It's vital to the defence case, Your Honour, that the jury understands the background to this situation.
Oh, very well. Proceed if you must. But please be brief.
Oh, I will. Mr. Riley, you said in Northern Ireland you were a member of the official Irish Republican Army.
Aye.
Which shares the same political aims as the provisional IRA.
Aye, but it's opposed to terrorism. It condemned the bombings here that led to the Terrorism Act. In fact, the official IRA leadership contains a good many ex-officers of the British Army.
Despite which, the organisation was prescribed under the Prevention of Terrorism Act.
Aye.
It was, of course, argued, both inside and outside Parliament, that the effect of this ban would be to drive both members of the provisional and the official IRA into other organisations. I mean, you, for instance, you come over here and you become an organiser for Clan na HÉireann, don't you?
Aye.
Well, it is a fact, isn't it, that the membership of Clan na HÉireann has significantly increased in recent years?
Aye, legally. It's only concerned with peaceful activities.
What activities were these, apart from the purely social events of dances and darts matches?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, didn't you ever hold political debates or discussions?
Aye. I mean, it's not a police state yet, is it?
Your Honour, we do seem to be getting lost once again in the desert of politics.
Please come to the point, Mr.
Very well, Your Honour. Did you ever exhibit a film called Ireland Behind the Wire?
We did.
And is not that a propaganda exercise attacking the treatment of the Catholic minority in Northern Ireland and the treatment of prisoners by the British Army?
Propaganda is the truth spoken by the enemy.
The enemy. In January of last year, you were arrested and you were held for questioning for 4 days.
Aye.
Why?
Just because I was an Irish Catholic known to believe in the reunification of my country?
No other reason?
No other reason. The police didn't need any other reason. They were arresting dozens of Irishmen at that time.
Why?
Because that's the way the special branch operates.
Oh, but you must be aware that the arrest followed the discovery of an IRA arsenal in a house in Fulchester.
Aye, I heard about that.
You heard about it. Now, let's see. That house contained weapons such as pistols and also a number of homemade bombs. They were very skillfully made, employing gelignite and an electric charge and timing mechanism.
Well, I know nothing about that.
Oh, come on. Surely the police must have talked to you about it?
Well, they might have mentioned it, but I told them it had nothing to do with me.
You are by trade an electrician.
Aye.
Could you make a bomb?
Oh, Jesus, is that what you're driving
just answer
at?
the question, yes or no.
No!
Mr. Riley, from descriptions in the press, I think a child could make a simple bomb, and that you say that with your specialised knowledge you could not do so.
Well, I wouldn't like to try it. Sounds like a very dangerous hobby to me.
Oh, it is a very dangerous hobby.
Now, listen. If being an electrician makes you a bomber, and I suppose that being a chemist makes you a poisoner, and being a lawyer makes you a criminal.
wouldn't you agree that if you had good reason for suspecting someone of committing a crime, then the fact that he has relevant skills could be important?
I accept there was no good reason for suspecting me in the first place.
You said that after the discovery of the arsenal, you were only one of dozens of Irishmen to be arrested for questioning.
Well, the police attitude at the time was that if you're Irish, come into the Bridewell.
Yes. I understand that while the others were released after questioning, you were the only one against an exclusion order was served.
Ah, well, now, isn't that the luck of the
Why
Irish
you,
folk?
Mr. Riley?
Well, you'll have to ask your Mr. Home Secretary that, because he didn't give me the courtesy of an explanation when he gave me my marching orders.
You've no idea why you were excluded.
Oh, I've ideas, all right.
Such as?
Such as I was honest with the police about my political beliefs. I told them as long as the old country was not reunited, the conflict would go on forever. And the first step towards that reunification was the withdrawal of the British Army of Occupation from the north.
Your Honour, I really must protest against my learned friend allowing a witness to use the court as a platform for his political views.
I quite agree.
The withdrawal of the army is the official and declared policy of the Social and Labour Democratic Party.
Mr.
The
Riley.
wrong Liberal Party is thinking of adopting it as their official policy, but nobody calls them terrorists.
Mr. Riley, you will refrain from voicing your political views in this court.
He asked me why I thought I was excluded.
You were excluded under the provisions of the Prevention of Terrorism Act. We're not here to review that judgment. Mr. Hurst, you will kindly confine your questions to the facts relevant to the charges against Mr. Alexander Garland.
Your Honour, Mr. Riley's political record, his influence on the daughter Eileen, are directly relevant to Garland and his feelings.
My learned friend is simply throwing a smokescreen around the actual issue
Your
of
Honour,
the
it has been
assault.
stated in...
Gentlemen, we are here to reach a judgment concerning the events alleged to have taken place in the Garland house on Monday, August the 14th, last year. Mr. Hurst, do you have any further questions?
Just a few, Your Honour. Mr. Riley, how would you describe Alexander Garland's attitude towards you?
Well, I can't answer for the attitude in old soak like that one. I mean, he's more soaked in bigotry than he is in gin, and that's saying something.
Don't you ever drink?
Well, I'm not adverse to a drop.
Well, did you have a drop before you arrived at the Garland house on the evening in question?
No.
Well, did you have a drop with your sister Maureen?
Well, I might have had a drop.
How much did you have to drink?
Well, I don't know, a couple of bottles.
Bottles of what?
Guinness for sure. I don't mean gin. I'm not your man, Garland.
Now, Mr. Garland will say there was a bottle of scotch on the table when he arrived, and it was half empty.
Well, Maureen always got some drinking on Eileen's birthday, and I might have had a couple of tots.
There was also a crate of Guinness under the table.
Aye.
11 bottles of which were empty.
11 now.
How much did you have to drink, Mr. Riley?
I said a couple of bottles.
Oh, so your sister had drunk the other 9, had she?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she might have had them during the day, or she might have had a friend in.
Starting the celebration early.
Sure, why not?
Well, even if she'd started early in the morning, wouldn't you say that 9 bottles of Guinness were rather a lot to get through?
Well, depends.
Depends on what?
On whether you're used to it.
Oh, you're implying that your sister Maureen was used to drinking 9 bottles of Guinness, are you?
Now, you're putting words into my mouth. I never said that.
Yes, well, let me ask you directly that if you knew that your sister had consumed 9 bottles of Guinness in the day, would you expect her to be drunk?
Of course, of all day. Take more than that to make our Maureen drunk.
Really? Would they have any effect on her?
They might make her a bit merry.
Was she a bit merry?
Only in the sense that she was lively and chatting away like.
I see.
But she wasn't drunk.
Because she was used to drinking, you mean?
She was fond of a drop, but she never got herself drunk.
Just merry.
Well, is there any harm in getting a wee bit merry when you're celebrating your only daughter's birthday?
Would you say that you yourself were merry?
Oh, no. Take more than that to make me merry.
Now, you knew that following your exclusion, Mr. Garland had banned all Irish visitors from the house, didn't you?
Aye, so Eileen wrote me.
Oh, you kept up a correspondence with Eileen, did you, after you returned to Derry?
We wrote to each other.
How often?
Well, I don't know.
Once a week, once a month?
About once a month.
So, for all his efforts, Mr. Garland simply could not break the Irish connection.
No, he couldn't.
Did he ever try to interfere with your correspondence with Eileen?
Well, he could hardly ban the postman, could he?
Did he object?
I believe he did.
Despite that, you continued to write to her.
Aye. Eileen wanted me to, for God's sake.
Do you know why he banned the visits and objected to the correspondence?
Because he holds a grudge against the family. And because he's a bigot. Bigoted against the Irish and bigoted against
Look, you know he had a
Catholics.
perfectly good and respectable reason.
Do I?
After you were excluded, Eileen continued to attend the Irish club, didn't she?
Aye.
I understand she used to pass messages on your behalf.
Like a mutual friend.
Mr. Garland was convinced that you were using his daughter to pass on information useful to your cause.
Ah, well, that's all
that you were
my,
exploiting his daughter's affection for you.
That is rubbish.
Isn't it a fact that he banned the visits, objected to the correspondence, because he wanted to prevent his young daughter from being drawn, however innocently, into a murderous game of terrorism? Didn't he want to prevent her becoming a pawn in the hands of political revolutionaries like you?
Eileen will never be anybody's pawn.
Thank you.
Ah, Mr. Riley, now, when Garland came home and found you there, did you threaten him in any way?
No.
Do you think he deliberately knocked that statuette off the table?
I'm sure he did.
Why did he do that?
Because he hates the Catholic images and he wanted to cause trouble.
Now, you said that you bent down to pick up the broken statuette and he kicked you. Was that a violent kick?
I had the bruise to show for it the next day.
You didn't provoke him and he deliberately assaulted you.
Now that's it, exactly.
Thank you. No further questions. Your Honour?
I'm obliged to you, Mr. Lowry. Mr. Riley, I imagine you must have been reluctant to appear in this courtroom knowing that you'd have to admit that you'd earlier returned here on your niece's birthday and thereby broken the exclusion order against you.
Aye.
Presumably, as an Irish citizen, you could easily have taken refuge in error.
Aye, that's right. But I came here for Maureen's sake, to see justice done and to save her from any further beatings.
You think she is in danger of further beatings?
If that man goes free and gets away with what he's done...
And now you yourself may face further charges.
Aye. But nothing I'd face back here can compare with the life I'd go back to in Derry.
I see. Thank you.
That completes the case of the prosecution, Your Honour.
Join us again tomorrow when the jury will reach its verdict in the case of the Queen against Alexander Garland in the Crown Court. This is Alexander Garland, who is charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent to his wife, Maureen Garland. He has pleaded not guilty.
Mr. Garland, would you like to tell us in your own words what actually happened on the night your wife, Maureen, received the injury to her face?
Well, it were an accident. I'm not even sure what happened. But I swear I didn't hit her with the statue. She hit me with it.
Would you mind starting from your going into the house? Now, you have one of those old-fashioned terraced houses, don't you, where the front door opens straight into the front room?
Yes.
Now, it was your daughter Eileen's birthday. You knew she'd be having a celebration with her mother. You open that door, you go in. What do you see?
Well, I saw the wife sitting at the table having a drink with Aiden Riley. Well, I was amazed. I didn't expect to see him there. I mean, I thought he was in Ireland, in Derry, with his family. I didn't think he'd be that stupid to come back into the country having been excluded by law. But there he was, sitting there, enjoying himself, having a drink, with a broad grin over his face. I walked in, he grinned at me and said something to Maureen.
Yes, do you remember what he said?
Well, I couldn't understand. It were Gaelic. They often spoke in Gaelic.
Then what did you do?
Well, I shut the door, went in and said, "What the bloody hell are you doing here?" He laughed at me and I said, "I'm going for the police." And he gave me a push.
He pushed you?
Oh, aye.
Violently?
Oh, he sent me flying across the room. He goes mad when he's had a few, that one.
You think he had a few?
A few. He was mad drunk, and I don't think he got that drunk in that last half hour.
Yes, so he pushes you violently.
Oh, aye. He sent me flying against the table. The statue fell off and on the floor. Now, that was his fault, not mine. I mean, the head smashed off. So he bent down, picked up the body, held it, looked at me, and the look on his face was frightening. I mean, I was still getting up off the floor. I'd fallen sideways off the table. And suddenly he sprung at me, swinging the statue, and I thought he was going to knock my bloody head off. So I kicked out, and I caught him, more by luck than judgment. he fell over and I ran for the door.
Yes, where was Mrs. Garland while all this was happening?
Ooh, she was sitting at the table. Then suddenly she jumped up and barred me way. She stood in front of the door.
Did she seem drunk or sober?
Well, I knew she was drunk when I walked into the room. By the way she was sitting, I've got to know the signs. Anyway, I knew she'd be celebrating. So, I mean, she jumped up and planted herself in front of the door and tried to grab me when I went past. Aiden Riley came up with me with a statue. I was fighting the two of them. Everything went everywhere. I mean, everything flew off the table and chairs turned over. We were rolling around the floor, wrestling.
All three of you?
Oh, I was trying to get hold of Eileen Riley's wrist, the one that had the statue in it, while I had to protect myself with the other hand.
Now, were you attacking them, or were they attacking you?
Oh, no, they were attacking me.
They were attacking you?
Suddenly, Aiden Riley drops the statue and runs for it. Well, I was on the floor on my back with Maureen on top of me, and I was determined he wasn't getting away, so I tried to get up and get after him.
Yes, did your wife try to prevent you?
Oh, she screamed at me, "Leave him alone!" Then she picked up the statue and swung it at me.
She swung it at you?
Oh, she picked it up as she was getting up. I mean, I was still getting to my feet when she swung at me and caught me on the shoulder. And then it started all over again.
The fight?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to get her wrist so that I could get the statue off her, but she wouldn't let go. We were rolling all over the place, wrestling with it, and... well, that's when it happened.
When what happened?
Well, she gave a scream, and I saw all her face had been ripped open. She caught it on the statue.
Which she was still holding?
Like a vice, I couldn't get it off her. Anyway, there was blood pouring out. She fainted. I laid her on the floor and I took the statue out of her hand and was looking at the wound when Eileen came in and said the police were coming. Well, I thought, naturally, they were coming for Aiden Riley. I didn't think about it. I just took it for granted. I told her to look after her mother and I went out into the street to see if I could catch him, but there was no sign of him.
Now, the police arrested you in a public house. How did you come to be there?
Oh, I'd run past it. It's only a couple of streets away, my local. And I was walking back when I ran into Tommy Weeks.
Tommy Weeks?
Oh, he's a mate of mine. We were having a drink in the pub earlier before I went home. Anyway, he stood there looking at me. I must have been a sight, out of breath, covered in blood, holding a broken statue in my hand. He said, "What the bloody hell's going on?" So I started to tell him, and he said, "You need a drink." Took me in the pub, bought me a large gin, and I bought him one back.
What about your wife? Didn't you?
I was naturally concerned about it, but there was naught I could do about it. I mean, I knew Eileen was with her, and the police were coming. And I hadn't thought about it then, but then it suddenly struck me. Eileen would no more call the police for Aiden than her mother would.
You mean you didn't think they'd be coming for you?
It hadn't occurred to me. And then they walk in the pub and arrest me. Well, I was shattered. I asked them if I could see Maureen to get it all sorted out. They told me she'd been taken to hospital with Eileen.
Now, I understand you met your wife while you were serving with the British Army in Northern Ireland. How long had you been in the services?
I was a boy soldier.
And how old were you both when you met?
Oh, she was 16, I was 23.
Now, would you say that you were more experienced sexually than she was?
Well, neither of us had had any experience. You see, before I got posted to Northern Ireland, I spent most of my service in Cyprus, Kenya and West Germany. Never had time to, well, you know, get to know anyone. I never went out much.
But you liked the army?
It was my life.
Yes, but after you got Maureen pregnant and you came back to England and got married, you took a civilian job. Why was that?
Well, Maureen wanted to settle down and make a home for the baby.
How did it work out?
Well, you know, not too well.
How was that?
Well, I think it was the religious side of it, really. That was to blame more than anything else. You see, Maureen and I had agreed that the child could be brought up as a Roman Catholic, and she was, and there was no trouble about that. It was more the, well, the intimate side of the relationship.
Between you and your wife? Yeah.
You see, Maureen believes it's a sin to have sexual intercourse unless you want to have a baby.
And you didn't want to have another baby?
Well, I wouldn't have minded another kid. But I didn't want a house crawling with them, not like the Irish.
Yeah, you say she wouldn't agree to any form of contraception?
No.
So what sort of sexual relationship did you have with your wife?
None. Not since Eileen's been born. The shop's been shut for 19 years.
Yes, I see. Now, what was your relationship with your wife in other respects?
Oh, we just lived separate lives under the same roof. I mean, I had my job and my friends. She had her family and her Irish friends.
Yes, how did your daughter Eileen fit into this arrangement?
Well, my wife turned my daughter against me. She was forever taking her over to see the family in Ireland, that never forgiven me for making her pregnant in the first place. And then she made sure that she had lots of Irish Catholic friends at home. Well, I was out of the picture.
Why did you put up with it? Why did you stay?
Well, Maureen's never had a job, and I can't afford to keep two homes going.
Now, were politics ever a source of argument between you and your wife?
No. Well, not before Aiden Riley came on the scene. You see, Maureen wasn't interested in politics as such. I mean, she told me when we first met that her family were Republican and that she herself thought that one day Ireland would have to be reunited. But she was totally opposed to violence.
What was your view?
Well, I agreed with her then. When the troubles flared and the violence started in Northern Ireland, and after that, well, I don't honestly know. I mean, it's obvious that the majority of people in Ulster don't want to be reunited with Southern Ireland, and they've tried power sharing, and that hasn't worked, and it'll be a bloodbath if the army pulled out. So we have to soldier on. But you see, Maureen's never forgiven us for the death of her brother.
Us, I'm sorry.
The British Army. You see, her oldest brother was shot by the British Army and killed. He was discovered to have ammunition in his car. Aiden Riley and Maureen said that the British Army had planted it. But the man was a militant. He'd always been in trouble. It was always on the cards.
Yes, when did this happen?
Oh, just before Aiden Riley came over here in 1974. That's what made me suspicious.
Suspicious?
Well, you see, the bombings had started in Britain, and I was convinced that Aiden Riley was over here to take revenge for his brother. Well, I talked to Eileen and Maureen about it. I was trying to warn Eileen, really, but they ignored me and started babbling off in Gaelic.
I gather Aiden had a big influence on your daughter, Eileen.
I couldn't do anything with her after he came. He indoctrinated her with ideas.
Yes. Now, these ideas...
Well, Irish nationalism, and it was more than just ideas. There were these strange Irishmen calling at the house at all hours with messages for Aiden. Now, I couldn't see why they couldn't go round and talk to him direct. That's what made me suspicious. Then he started taking her to this Irish club. Met an Irish boyfriend and stayed nights with an Irish family. She was in it up to here. Even after the house was discovered full of bombs and ammunition, and Aiden Riley had been excluded, she still got letters from him. Well, now, I'm not saying that Eileen would be in any way have anything to do with terrorism. Oh, no, not consciously. But I had a feeling she was being used. That's why I barred all Irish visitors.
And that upset Eileen?
Well, it did then, but I think it's all right now that Aiden Riley's out of the way.
Yes, she does still have an Irish boyfriend, though.
Well, boyfriends come and go.
Could you accept your daughter possibly marrying an Irishman?
She'll marry who she wants. That one, she's got a bit of her own.
What would you feel?
I'd accept it, providing he wasn't preaching revolution all the time.
Yes. Now, do you feel optimistic about working out a better relationship with your daughter and your wife?
Aye. Given time, I mean, there's more to life than politics, isn't there?
Thank you, Mr. Garland.
Mr. Garland, I must say, I find some difficulty in reconciling this image you have of yourself as a caring and responsible husband and father with your family's image of yourself as a violent bigot and a drunkard. Could it be possible that there's some truth in both images?
I am neither violent nor a drunkard. But if it's bigoted to condemn bombings and terrorism, then I'm a bigot, yes.
Then how do you explain these beatings you've inflicted on your wife?
Your Honour, I object. I mean, the witness has never admitted to beating his wife.
Your Honour, the daughter has given evidence of a series of rows ranging from a backhander to a pitched battle, now culminating in this vicious assault.
Oh, Your Honour, I must protest. I mean, the evidence given by the daughter referred to half a dozen rows in the course of a lifetime, and there's no evidence of a series of rows culminating in anything.
Mr. Garland, would you like to describe these rows for us?
Well, I can only remember two serious rows.
Tell the court about those.
Well, there was the first one, the really big one, when my wife accused me of having an affair with the woman next door. She sniffed my collar and said she could smell perfume on it.
And was there perfume on it?
Oh, aye, yeah. I'd been out drinking. I'd gone to a club. I'd met this woman and gone with her. But it wasn't the woman next door.
And you had a physical row with your wife?
Oh, aye, she was waiting up for me when I got back. And she'd been drinking too. She started making accusations and swearing at me. Suddenly she flew at me. We fell on the floor and had a terrible fight. I mean, I couldn't handle her. But that was years ago. Eileen was only a babe.
what was the other occasion?
Oh, well, that was me. That was my fault, really. I lost my temper. But they were goading me.
Who were goading you?
Eileen and Maureen. You see, it was Eileen's 17th birthday. They'd been out drinking with Aiden Riley. They'd come home singing Irish revolutionary songs. I was in bed upstairs. I shouted at them to shut up. Aiden Riley went, but they didn't stop. They started singing the soldier song, you know, the IRA's favourite. So I came downstairs singing The Sash My Father Wore. They started making jokes about the Orange and the Queen. I started making jokes about Paddy's and the Pope. She swore at me, I slapped her, and all bloody hell broke loose.
Thank you. Mr. Lowry?
Your Honour. Now, Mr. Garland, I understand that it was your habit to go straight from work to the pub.
Aye.
Every night?
Aye.
And how long did you stay in the pub?
Till closing time.
Wouldn't it have been an idea to go home occasionally and visit your family?
No, I did in the early years of the marriage. But then Maureen started going to the pub at lunchtime, and a different pub, meeting her Irish cronies, having a punt on the horses and a few Guinnesses. By the time she got home, she was half drunk. Well, unsteady, slurring her words. Well, she'd make tea for Eileen and me, and then she'd go upstairs to bed. Until about 9 o'clock, she'd come down and watch television. We had rows about that, about her drinking during the day, and then I just got fed up and decided to stay in the pub and play darts. We had 3 matches a week. I enjoyed playing darts. I could play darts all night.
And drink all night, I dare say. How much did you usually drink during the course of an evening?
8 pints.
Between what, 6 and 10:30, I suppose?
About that.
Yes. Now, on the night of Eileen's birthday, the night of the assault, you went to the pub first, and you were there from what, 6 until 8? 2 hours? How much did you have to drink?
2, 3 pints.
Mr. Garland, your daughter and your wife and your brother-in-law all say that you were drunk.
On 2 or 3 pints?
Well, quite. A man with your track record, I'm sure Mr. Garland could drink more than 2 or 3 pints in 2 hours, particularly if he's in an angry mood. Annoyed? Jealous?
Jealous?
Yes. Yes, I suggest that you were jealous of your daughter's Irish boyfriend. I suggest that you were even more jealous of her uncle, Aiden Riley. I mean, consider what happened that evening. You went to the pub, you had a few pints. You went home and you found Aiden Riley there. Now, your first reaction was not, oh, has the exclusion order been lifted or anything like that, but it was an instant threat. I'm going to the police. A moment later, the statuette of the Madonna lies broken on the floor. Mr. Riley bends down to pick it up. You kick him to the ground. Your wife begs you to leave him alone. You pick up the statuette and you smash her in the face with it. I mean, do you really expect the jury to believe that she herself inflicted that dreadful wound? Your wife was the victim of your drunken fury, aroused by the sight of Aiden Riley. Was that not so? No further questions, Your Honour.
Did you deliberately knock over that statuette, as suggested, because of your dislike of the Catholic image?
No. Eileen's room is full of crucifixes and Madonnas.
Did you launch an attack on Aiden Riley?
No. It started with him pushing me.
But you did seriously intend fetching the police?
Oh, aye, it was my duty.
Even against your wife's wishes?
To stop terrorism, yes.
Now, did you attack your wife?
No. She attacked me with a statue.
Mr. Weeks, I understand that you're an old friend of Alexander Garland.
Yes. I've known Alec ever since he left the army.
Yes, now, on the night of his daughter's birthday, you had a drink with him early in the evening, didn't you?
Yes, in the local. We met there most nights for a few jars after work.
How would you describe his mood at that time?
Well, he was a bit tense, worried about his daughter.
Why was he worried?
Well, she was knocking about with this Irish crowd that her Uncle Aiden had introduced her to. And Alec was worried that she'd get mixed up with terrorism. Innocently like. She was going round with an Irish fella, and Alec said he wouldn't have him or any Irish in the house. He was a bit worried in case she decided to invite him back, seeing it was her birthday.
Did he talk much about his family problems or this Irish business?
Alec's a man who keeps his affairs to himself, but I knew it was on his mind. He was very fond of Eileen, you know, though he got precious little encouragement. She's a cool one.
Now, on that evening, he left the pub early and he went home.
Yes.
Now, how much would you say he'd had to drink before he left?
Oh, I'd say about 3 pints.
Would you expect that to have any effect on him?
Well, it might make him thirsty.
Wouldn't make him drunk?
Alec Garland? Never. He can hold his ale, can Alec? You never see Alec drunk.
When did you next see him on that evening?
When I left the pub soon after 8, there was no game that night. Darts, I mean. So I went walking down the street in a terrible state. He was covered in blood and he was carrying this statue with no head. That there. It looked weird. I grabbed hold of him and I pulled him into the pub. What the hell's going on, I said. I got him a drink and he told me about the punch-up with his wife's brother.
Did he say anything about his wife?
Yes, he said she'd caught her face on that thing, got a terrible cut, and Eileen was looking after her. He was pretty shattered, I can tell you. He'd had a heavy going over. Cuts, black eye, blood all over him. Well, he got me a drink and the law walked in.
Was he the sort of man you'd associate with physical violence?
Alec? Never. No, he's the quiet type. He's seen a few odd punch-ups in the pub, but I've never seen Alec in any trouble.
Yes, well, he had the occasional physical row with his wife. Did you know that?
No, but everybody has a fight with his wife now and again, doesn't he? I mean, if every marital fight came to court, you fellas would never get a day off, would you? You've got to keep these things in proportion. Oh, no, Alec would never do any harm to Maureen, not deliberately. It's just not his style, Not his style, thank you.
Mr. Weeks, you said that you usually met Mr. Garland in the pub after work?
Right.
Did you stay with him in the pub all evening?
Yes, we were in the darts team. Alec was the captain. We had a game most nights.
But you also stayed in the pub on the evenings when you didn't have a game?
Usually.
Do you have a family, Mr. Weeks?
Yes. They're in the teens now. Old punks like.
How much do you drink during the course of a usual evening?
Same as Alec. We went round for round, with each other.
How much did you drink?
Well, he'd buy a round, then I got one in. The usual ration.
But what was the usual ration?
Well, mainly we stuck to beer.
You mean you drank shorts as well?
Well, the odd one.
I'm still not clear.
For a chaser,
I'm still not clear how much you consumed on a usual evening.
Well, I'd have a scotch and Alec would have a gin.
Mr. Weeks, how many pints did you consume on a typical evening?
Well, just a few, nothing in excess.
Just a few? You said...
yes.
You said that you had 3 pints between 6 and 8 o'clock, and that would have been enough to make you thirsty. So how much had you had by 11 o'clock? 10?
10? Never.
Well, how many then? 6 or 7 or 8?
Yes. 8.
Plus a few chasers?
Yes.
And after drinking at this level for 18 years, you say that you never once saw Alec Garland drunk?
No, never.
And that is your sober judgment. How much, Mr. Weeks, would you say that this drinking cost you?
I've never worked it out.
Well, I'd say at today's prices it must be something like, well, 35 to 40 pounds a week. That's quite a slice out of the family income, isn't it, Mr. Weeks?
My family's never gone short, neither has Alec's.
You must be both very popular at your local.
Oh, I suppose so. We've got lots of friends there, Everyone knows everyone else,
Yes, I know. So you wouldn't expect any violence there?
No, it's very quiet as a rule.
So you'd have no means of judging whether Alec Garland was capable of violent behaviour, would you?
I stand by what I've said. I can't see him having a go at anyone.
No, because you regard marital rows as normal.
Well, that's different, isn't it?
Alexander Garland has been charged with inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm. I ask you, therefore, to consider the precise meaning of those words. Mrs. Garland suffered a wound requiring 11 stitches. She did indeed suffer serious harm. The question you must ask yourselves is, have the prosecution established to your satisfaction that Alexander Garland intended to inflict serious harm on his wife, that he deliberately thrust the statuette with its jagged edge into his wife's face? If he did, then you will find him guilty of this charge, and if he did not, you will find him not guilty of this charge. He may, however, be guilty of a lesser offence, that is, the offence of unlawfully and maliciously inflicting grievous bodily harm. He's guilty of this offence if you consider that he inflicted serious harm not intentionally, but in that the statuette was in his hand as he pushed his wife away from the door. Or, on the other hand, if, as the defence suggests, Mrs. Garland was holding the statuette herself when she launched an attack on her husband, and the injury was accidental, you will find Mr. Garland not guilty. Remember, the prosecution have the responsibility of satisfying you that the accused committed an offence. If you are not so satisfied, then your verdict will be one of not guilty. Will you now please retire, elect a foreman to speak for you, and consider your verdict?
Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict upon which you are all agreed?
Yes.
On the charge of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, do you find the accused guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.